Sean Salisbury here for Open Sports. Let's look at the 3 holiday games and break them down. Tennessee and the Detroit Lions. I don't want to get into should the Detroit Lions be playing on Thanksgiving every single year. That's for another day, but no, they shouldn't. That being said, nor should the Cowboys for that matter. We need to spread it around. I like Tennessee in a walk over the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit may show up in different type of uniform and play better because it's Thanksgiving, and they'll always, at least for a while, put up some competition. Oh boy, I wish you had Barry Sanders, don't you? Because it sure made Thanksgiving Day games better with the Detroit Lions. Tennessee's coming off a loss where they were physically dominated by the Jets. Detroit hasn't won a game. Detroit is going to get punished physically by Tennessee. I don't know how Detroit's going to stop Tennessee from running the ball because Tennessee struggled to run it recently, and that's their MO, so they're going to try to fix that. Tennessee doesn't like to be embarrassed, and they were embarrassed a bit by the Jets last week. So I have a hunch that this is going to be a long, long morning. So if you're up and get hors d'oeuvres before you get your Thanksgiving dinner, you might want to stuff yourself enough to sleep during that game, even before the tryptophan kicks in and you've eaten your turkey. But Tennessee, I think, is going to put it on them. I think they'll recover after this, and this is probably a couple touchdown victory. Detroit may hang for a few minutes, but as has been the case this year, they'll find a way to let this one go also. Tennessee dominates. The Dallas Cowboys hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle battling a little bit and trying to hang in. This would have been a better game 3 years ago, obviously. Seattle's a mere shell of themselves now. This football team, I believe the window's slammed shut on them as far as not just playoffs this year, but having to rebuild a program. They don't do anything great. They do some things pretty good. They have a wonderful coach, but you know what, Pete? They're not responding to Mike Holmgren. And it's not just Mike. They're just not responding, period. And Matt Hasselbeck coming back after injury and trying to get things in the mix. The Dallas Cowboys, though, trust me, this Dallas Cowboys is not a great team. It's a good team. But the Dallas Cowboys can be beat and can be had. We've seen it. And they can be beat by a team that shouldn't beat them. So we'll see how the Cowboys respond. Obviously, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, is their day. But you know what? Maybe Seattle can reach back and grab something from, just a couple of years ago. Just a couple of years ago. Remember when they had them? But that was in Seattle when they got them in a playoff game. So Seattle's going to try to hang their hat on that one and get it done. But I think the Cowboys should give them a steady diet of Marion Barber. And, as long as the Cowboys don't turn the football over, they're not going to lose to Seattle. Plus, this is an important game. The Cowboys are trying to stay in a wild card race. And the NFC is jumbled in the NFC East, and it's jumbled in the NFC South. So, and even though there's not going to be 2 teams from the North, there's still teams there competing. So the Dallas Cowboys, I don't believe, can afford a loss right now, especially to a team they're supposed to beat. So let's see what kind of moxie the Cowboys have to go out and dominate after putting on a good performance this past a couple days ago. So we'll see if the Cowboys can repeat that against Seattle, and they should. And then finally, the NFL Network game, which is the best game of the day. The Arizona Cardinals headed to Philadelphia. There's a couple things in this game. Philadelphia, can they respond at home? Their fans are going to be in an ornery mood, even though it's Thanksgiving, and I don't blame them. The McNabb-Andy Reid situation where he was benched at halftime, how will McNabb respond? And Arizona coming off a loss where they were pushed around by the Giants also, and they want to respond. Kurt Warner in the MVP race. Arizona's still the best team without question in the NFC West. Got to travel across the country. And West Coast teams traveling east can't win. They have not been able to win. So if you're looking at just odds and saying, okay, what's the trend this year? The trend is Arizona's not going to win this game against Philadelphia, making that trip. But Philadelphia is not the same team, and they need to get confidence back, and they need a fast start. And look for the blitz in this game. A lot of pressure from Philadelphia trying to get to Kurt Warner. We saw the Giants knock him around some. He still put up a good numbers statistically, but they knocked Kurt around, took out some of the rhythm. That's what you got to do against a rhythm passer and the guy who I think is the most valuable player in the league. If you let Kurt Warner deliver the ball, Philadelphia is going to have a hard time. But expect Jim Johnson, their defensive coordinator, to come with a lot of pressure and a lot of blitzes. Part of me wants to say Philadelphia is going to win this game. I like Arizona, the way they're playing, but I'm actually going to pick Philadelphia to win at home. I'm going to pick them to respond. I'm going to pick them to come back after all the controversy last week and win this game. But it's all going to come down, just like the Giants, very similar. What kind of pressure can they put on Kurt Warner, and how does Donovan McNabb respond in this game? I think I know that answer. Now, one little sidebar about quarterbacks and about football is that Brady Quinn, who I said should not lose his starting job, is now out for the season because of that broken finger. So he's not going to play. Derek Anderson's back in the mix. This is twofold now. Brady Quinn now, it kind of retards the process now and slows down after a couple games, him getting ready for the 2009 season and the confidence and the rhythm he needed for the last handful of games to go into the season as the unquestioned team leader for the Cleveland Browns. That's not the case now. Now Derek Anderson has a chance to come out. Let's say he plays well this last month of the season. All of a sudden plays lights out. Then what? And the Cleveland Browns, do they get rid of Derek Anderson? Do they go back into the season with Derek as a starter? What if he plays like he did last year? Now, Brady Quinn's confidence, not where it needs to be. He's coming off an injury. Derek Anderson back in the mix. What'll happen? How's Romeo Crennel's job? Is Phil Savage's job safe? The owner has said he's going to wait to make a decision on both of those guys. So this quarterback situation, there's far bigger than just the one game or Brady Quinn being out for the season. It affects Anderson, the team, and Brady Quinn, and the futures of everybody involved. So we'll see how Derek Anderson responds now as he gets another chance to either prove the Cleveland Browns right last year for giving him money and making him the starter at the beginning of the season, or prove the Cleveland Browns wrong and prove a lot of people right to say, oh, he can't repeat the season he had last year. And he's already proved those people right so far this year by not playing well and getting benched. Well, he's got another opportunity here at the end of November and into December to see if he can get this thing going the last month of the season. So we'll see, and we'll see the long-term ramifications it has on the Cleveland Browns. I'm Sean Salisbury for Open Sports. Happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving to you. Enjoy. Eat a lot of food and get yourself a nap.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.